Hello, fire signs, my Leos, my Sages, and my Aries. Welcome to your new moon in Aquarius. That's why I'm wearing my glasses, but I kind of want to take them off because they're super scratched up and I can kind of see pretty well without them. So, still can see very clearly in terms of giving you an astro oracle reading. So, this guidance for you is for this new moon. It's the first new moon of this decade and this year, and we're approaching the Chinese New Year tomorrow, or if you're watching this tomorrow, it's already happened. Depending on when you're watching this, it is exactly relevant. Trust yourself and your guidance that brought you here to watch this right now. You might even be watching this way into the future to look back on this period in time and see what it was teaching you and what lessons you needed to integrate and learn and focus on. I've done that lots with oracle readings. Okay, so first of all, if you do want to learn about the general energy of this new moon, you can go to my free Facebook group called Moon Magic. If you're a woman, it's a beautiful sacred space for women to share about their experiences with the moon. And I also give a generalized reading with 2 cards read in there, and I talk about what kinds of intentions to set and what the overall theme is right now. So please do go check that out. The link is below. And if you want to learn about your chart, because this reading is relevant to people with air signs in their sun, moon, rising, or north node. So that's fire signs, I mean. So that's Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius in your sun, in your moon, in your rising, or in your north node. And if you don't know what that is, look at astro-charts.com. The link is below, or ask me to do a reading for you so you can learn all about it and what it means and how to interpret it and how to be on your destiny, because that's how I interpret astrology charts, is how to be on your path, on your dharma, on your destiny. And if you want to do a deeper dive and do a coaching call with me and be able to talk back and forth, not just have it be a recording that I send you, then that's also available. The link is down there below as well. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to get into this general fire sign reading. And if you'd like to get the detailed reading for your sign, if you're a Leo, if you're an Aries, if you're a Sag, if you have all of those mixing up in your chart, then you can go to the extended below and donate any amount that you want. And I will give you access to all of the extended readings, all of the elements, all of the signs. Just donate whatever you want. And if you are a current or past client of mine, then DM me, send me an email, because you just get those for free because I love you and it is my gift to you. I always want to give my clients access to guidance and wisdom that can help them on their path, because that's what I'm here to do. All right, so without further ado, we're going to get into it. I'm answering 4 questions, asking the cards 4 questions for this new moon. It is also the lunar imbolc, so it's this lunar new year energy. The Chinese New Year, the next cycle of 12 is starting. So what we want to focus on right now is what is being created for the greatest good of all. In the fire sign collective, what is currently being created that's for the greatest good of all? I'm going to pull a goddess card for this. What is being created for the greatest good of all, right? Because new moons are all about intention setting, fertile ground to set new intentions to create anew, and then full moons are what you created. All right, so I got Bronwyn in the upside down alignment position and forgiveness. So she is this goddess of ultimate forgiveness, because she was actually, I have to read about her myth again, but she essentially forgave like a very, very terrible crime, like something that's unforgivable. She found a way to forgive it. And since she's in the alignment position, what is being created for the greatest good of all is you letting go, you as in all of our fire signs, letting go of any past like pain, like what you thought was unforgivable. Oh my gosh, remember those the YouTube unforgivable things? I'm sorry I even mentioned that and brought it back up into your cerebral memory. Okay, forgive me. See what I did there? Back to the reading. What you felt was once unforgivable and, could never, like in lifetimes, you thought you wouldn't be able to get over it. And maybe it's past life stuff that happened to you. Maybe it's stuff that happened in this life. Maybe it happened recently. But there's this sense of being able to actually find forgiveness and see it as a part of your path, as a part of your destiny, something that's actually driving you forward. You know how sometimes our pain and our persecution is our purpose. That is what's going to be created for the greatest good of all. So your forgiveness of yourself, of that situation, of the culture, of society at large, for maybe creating and orchestrating that pattern of events or conditioning that really, really hurt you in an unforgivable way, you forgiving that and seeing it as a gift to you that's propelling you towards your purpose, because that Aquarius energy is all about our greatest purpose that serves the greatest amount of people. Like, how is you serving the most people, you serving your destiny going to serve the most amount of people, right? I think about an artist and a musician, like them being in their destiny path of singing those songs and reaching those amount of people helps people emotionally process, help people not feel alone, helps them have fun and dance and feel sexy and all the range of emotion. So how can you be even more on your path by forgiving something that you previously thought was unforgivable? Think about it. Might be something from your childhood, patterns, parenting, even something maybe you can't forgive yourself about. It might not even be something outside of you. It might be internalized shame that needs to be processed, right? Transmuted, transformed. A miracle needs to occur so that the greatest good can be served. I'm going to read a little bit more about this card because I just want to know what Colette Baron-Reid, the creator of these cards, intended for Bronwyn. And there is the number 7, which is a spiritual number. So there's like this sense of like, cycles of 7s have been coming around, like 7-year cycles. What happened to you when you were 7, 14, 21, 28, those kinds of cycles, or what happened to you 7 years ago, like something around the number 7 is significant here. And it's a part of your spiritual path, right? So cycles of 7 always have to do with spiritual path. That's why when you see 777, that's what that's about. Okay. Alignment message. Sometimes we unintentionally cause hurt or pain to others. Sometimes our motive really is to hurt. Now is the time for self-inventory and making amends, right? So this is so important for fire signs because, fire sign energy can get really angry, can get really, you have to fight back, you have to defend yourself, and that can really hurt yourself and others in the process. So really looking at your alignment is being accountable for your thoughts, feelings, beliefs, motives, actions. You are not doing this, however, to experience forgiveness from someone else or even from yourself. It's to have the strength and fortitude to be accountable and take responsibility for your actions. In this way, neither guilt nor shame can take root in your heart. So it's really owning it, like owning when you were vindictive, owning when you were angry and lashed out and it caused a problem for you, owning when you were angry towards yourself. And it's not just for the purposes of forgiveness, it's for the purposes of self-responsibility, because self-responsibility is self-leadership. You're at cause for your life. You're not a victim to life. You're not a victim to your own self or your previous behaviors or your current patterns, but you're able to take ownership and move forward. You stand empowered and humble with a head high, no matter the consequences. You will always be the beneficiary when you act in such a way. The goddess Bronwyn says deep healing comes from this kind of courage and respect. So it's a really deep level of self-respect that's really being come into with this card. So that's what's being created for the greatest good of all right now. That's pretty heavy. That's pretty intense. All right. Second question. What new ideas, thoughts do you need to let fertilize? What new ideas and thoughts need to be fertilized for you? I'm going to read from the Good Tarot. That's a weird siren. New ideas and thoughts that need to be fertilized in your mind, in your way of thinking. Maybe it's new beliefs, new patterns. Okay, here we go. 8 of Earth. 8 of Earth. So immediately I think 8 is the number of infinity. So it's like new ways of creating abundance, new ways of creating financial abundance, material abundance. Like literally you need to think of a new way to make money. It's pretty much like what needs to be fertilized at the moment. Like what you need to look at is like actually different career paths and different ways that you can serve the world and different ways that you can be about material things. Like maybe it's becoming a more conscious consumer. Maybe it's making more conscious products. Maybe it's just like having a job that's more in alignment with you, and it's just a completely different way of making money, like passive income compared to hours for dollars, etc. Like learning about different models, investments, etc. That will be very, very helpful for you, especially when you're taking so much personal responsibility from the previous card and letting go of how you may have acted in the past. There's this real sense of needing to have like a new idea around how you can create, especially create material results into the future. Like it doesn't have to happen from that level of assertiveness or aggression that maybe you thought of before, or even that same level of like practicality is what I'm getting. What do I mean by that? Like there's this message of like, this is a violin and she's dancing on it. Like that maybe the way that you create money and you create impact in your world and in your community might be more artistic and different and soft and beautiful, like a violin playing, right? It's not like creating money from having a system, having a plan, getting the degree, doing the job, getting the networking, etc. Like that seems like a flurry of conditioning. It's like, how do you actually want it to go? What would be beautiful? And having those new seeds planted. So really looking at people with alternate maybe careers or ways of doing life, different lifestyles, ways of living for you to be, to have expanders, as I like to call them, like people who expand our way of looking at life and the way that we can live it. So your third question is, how can you let even more of your authentic but unconventional self out? Aquariuses are always unconventional and they let their freak flags fly. So how can you let even more of your authentic and unconventional self out, my fire signs? Okay, let's ask the animals for some guidance here. How can you let more of your authentic self out? I got 2 cards. I got Squirrel, believe in yourself, and Whale Spirit, trust the great mystery. They're both in alignment, so 65. Okay, so with squirrel energy and with whale energy, they're so gorgeous. So this one's still upside down. Believing in yourself, like how can you be even more authentic to your most unconventional self, your weird self, and maybe not everyone gets to see, is you have to believe that that's actually like something worth having, like that your own characteristics are worth having. Like you have to see the value in them and you have to believe in who you are. Like truly believe that who you are is, I don't want to say the word good because I don't want to be like good and bad polarity, but it's like you just have to believe that you being quirky and whimsical, having the ideas, the thought processes, maybe this unique way of making money or doing stuff in the world, that is going to work. And the way that you do that is by trusting the great mystery, is by, do you think that it's all just mysterious and weird and like, oh, how's it going to work? Like the squirrel believes in itself. It knows that it's going to find the nuts. It knows it's going to have enough for the winter. Like it has to trust in itself and in its plan and in its instincts. And the way that it does that is it believes in the great mystery. It doesn't know where its next like nut is going to come from and if someone's going to drop something out of their pocket, but it trusts and it goes forward anyway. So there's this real sense of needing for you to know that the mystery will unfold. If you feel like dressing a certain way, if you feel like expressing in a certain way, if you feel like putting something out there or joining some group, or you're drawn to some community or some new sort of learning, it could be some sort of artistic community. It could be some sort of interest or hobby. Just trust in the great mystery of why you're being led there, because it will be revealed and you're allowed to be drawn to what you're drawn to because it will lead you to your path. Trust your curiosity is what I'm trying to say here. All right, fire signs, really interesting reading for you. And then lastly, what do you need to focus on in this new cycle? Where is your focus going to be? There's a sense of like diamond mind focus and clarity with the Aquarius cycle for the next month until the next new moon for the next 6 months. Where do you need your focus to be? Athena, knowledge. Okay, perfect. So Athena is the goddess of knowledge and wisdom. She was represented by an owl. She's very cerebral, very intellectual, a researcher. So your focus needs to be, again, on researching different ways that you can live the life that you want, that's most attuned to that unconventional, what you might even think is weird or outside of the norm aspect of you. You have to research and find other people who are just like you, who are in your community already. If you like Dungeons and Dragons, there's so many Dungeons and Dragons. Think about YouTube, where you are right now. You can find people in any niche, in any area. So do your research, look for those people, look for those areas and people already doing what you want to be doing, and you will find them. And just trust in the mystery, trust where you're guided, know that you're going to find exactly what you need and become exactly who you are. You're allowed to be who you are, and other people will be your community. You will find your community and you will find the knowledge that will quench your thirst, quench your thirst for a new way of living and a new way of being responsible and creating in the world. All right, my fire signs, that was your reading. If you'd like to go to the extended, donate below or contact me if you're one of my good friends or one of my clients. And if not, Have an awesome, awesome new moon. I hope you enjoy this new cycle. It's time to celebrate and send you so much love. Mwah.